Okay, everybody, Shannon here, and I have a special guest with us today, Jim with NuCalm. He is one of the owners with your brother, right, Jim?
Twin brother, yes.
Twin brother. Okay, I didn't realize that. And this company has changed my life, and I've been really interested to figure out why. I don't really understand the why behind it. I just know that it works. So it's not a secret that I've had a few health issues. And one of the things that I've struggled with because of pain is sleep. And my dear friend Becky told me about NuCalm, and she said, "You need to get this app and you need to try it." So I tried it because I only had, I think it's 7 days on the trial. And I'm like, I need to really, try this and see. And so I did it every night and really was for the sleep is what I was after. And the first night I did like the crickets and the chirping and the summer, whatever, that like what I wanted. The next night we used it sounds to me a lot like a fan. And it's interesting because my husband always, when we travel, he has a sound machine thing on his phone that plays a fan, right? So that's what we're used to when we travel, sleeping, and it helps him sleep. And I'm just used to that noise. Well, how I discovered that this works is he doesn't have a login. Only I have a login at this point. We're going to change that. But at this point, that's what we have. And so he's the one that goes to sleep last or winds down last. So he would just turn on his fan. And I realized when he turned on just the fan that I wasn't getting sleep, like, the NuCalm sleep, which is so odd to me because they sound so very similar. And I told Becky, I said, I don't know what the secret recipe is or how this thing is working, but if I don't sleep with my NuCalm, I do not get as good a sleep. And it's a real good for me, straight 5 hours of sleep. And that's pretty consistent. Um, I mean, I still sleep longer than that sometimes, but I think the real good deep sleep for me is about 5 hours. So I said, I've got to interview these guys and figure out more about this and how can this help others because I've struggled to find in my healing journey things that work. And I know that y'all have more out there in this amazing app that I can work through and try. And I think it'll help a lot of people. So I'd love to know how you got involved in NuCalm, kind of the history about it, and what the heck is it that makes it work?
It's a good question, and we could talk for hours on the science, but we are a neuroscience company. We're not a music company. We're not an entertainment company. We're not a white noise company, a fan sound company. We're a neuroscience company, and we've been around for 34 years. The journey began in 1990 with the esteemed neuroscientist, quantum physicist, Dr. Blake Holloway, who went on a quest of invention and scientific discovery to figure out a way to help humans resolve stress, improve their sleep, really around complex trauma without drugs. It took him 19 years. Now, Blake Holloway was one of the brightest human beings to walk this earth. I mean, the man was a genius amongst geniuses, and that just showcases how complex the human brain is. It took him 19 years to figure this out. And what he
Wow.
figured out was a method using complex math and algorithms and physics in a software and using your ears to carry a signal to present to your brain. And then your brain synchronizes with that signal. Now, the music you hear is just for you, it's just nice. So the music has nothing to do with what we're doing. We're not interested in a distraction. We're interested in taking you someplace. So, what used to be a highly regulated FDA Class 3 medical device that sold for $6,000 was exclusively available from 2009 to 2021 only to the elite military, Special Forces, Navy SEALs, the FBI Hostage Rescue Team, pilots, professional athletes, celebrities, and doctors. That's the only groups we served for
Wow.
13 years. And then beginning in 2016, we said, we have to find a way to make this accessible, affordable, and easy to use. But when you're dealing with the brain and you're dealing with neuroscience, there's never a clear path because you don't know how you're going to figure it out. But we did. And in November of 2021, we launched a mobile app, taking all of our science and put it into a mobile app, and then lowered the price 99% so that we could achieve affordable accessible, and easy to use. So we're not a marketing company. We're not a gimmick. We're not a gadget. We're not a gizmo. We're not an app. We're a tried and true neuroscience company solving complex human problems using physics and math and science. We basically help humans address four pillars of their life: sleep, recovery or cellular restoration or anti stress, focus, and performance. And our strength, our years of history, our science was built around recovery. So, a little physics, a little brain stuff, not going to get too technical. We don't need to get nerdy and Star Trek out, but I just want to
Right.
share with people kind of how our brains work. Because when we know how our brains work, then we can actually do things about it. So, the human brain, your brain, my brain, it oscillates in a frequency range. There's a range of frequency: high frequency, low frequency. There are five categories of frequency, beginning with the slowest frequency of delta. So there's delta, theta, and alpha, which is delta is zero point 0.5 hertz to 4 hertz. So a big slow wave. Your brain is slow. You're in dreamless like deep sleep. A faster frequency, 4 hertz to 7 hertz, is theta, theta. Now, theta is fascinating because it is the healing zone. It is the only time in the human biorhythm that your cells clean their toxins, your mitochondria is restored, and you have cellular restoration. And it is in one of the stages of sleep, and it's theta brainwave function, and it's a certain frequency. Now, it happens to be just above deep sleep, but it's like this lucid dream state. Then a faster frequency is 8 hertz to 12 hertz, and that's called alpha. So many of your listeners who do transcendental meditation or breathing exercises or yoga tai chi, they can kind of slow their brainwave down to alpha. And that's synonymous with creativity, being in the zone, being relaxed, having a quiet mind. Then we get into the faster frequencies. There's two action-oriented frequencies, and that's beta and gamma. Now, beta is where we spend most of our daily activity. 13 to 15 hertz is you're awake, but not that inspired. You're kind of just faking it till you make it. 15 to 20 hertz is the learning zone. People don't know there's a learning zone. There's a
Right.
specific frequency, 18.4 hertz, that allows for no distractions, great clarity, great efficiency, and you're thinking and you're learning. Then, when we get above that zone, 20 to 25 hertz is where many of us spend our time, and that is fear, stress, anxiety, worry, irritability, overwhelm, agitation, impatience. It's a faster frequency.
Right.
25 to 30 is a higher degree of fear and stress and worry and anxiety. So if you think about it logically, you're like, okay, that makes sense. When my brain's going too fast, I'm distracted, I'm agitated, I'm not getting enough oxygen. And then 30 to 38 hertz is pure fight or flight. So you're in a state of shock and your brain is kind of shut off and your body is surviving. Above all of that chaos is this sweet spot called gamma, 39 to 41 hertz, the fastest frequency. And this they see in the brains of monks, meditating monks, get to this sweet spot of high intensity, but it's focus. That is the operating system of the human brain. That's fascinating. No one tells us this. Nobody knows
Right.
this. So, what Dr. Holloway figured out was if I can safely and reliably bring anybody's brain to theta, the body knows how to heal itself. Now, there are two ways, Shannon, to trick the human brain. There's visual stimulation. The second way to do this is through the auditory motor cortex, using your ears like a Trojan horse. Once you put headphones on and you press play on the NuCalm app, your brain has no escape route. So we use music to create a nice experience while we bring 1 to 2 to 3 gigabytes of patented algorithms and math, and we present your brain with a signal, and your brain says, hey, I've had a tough day. Everybody seems against me. I'm starting to relax. All my worries are starting to go away. And then you levitate in this state just above deep sleep. and your body gets to heal and you get to oxygenate your entire body and your mind because we slow down your frequency and we open up your respiration. We perfected the art of taking everybody's brain to the healing zone. We've done more than 2,300,000 surgical procedures, replacing general anesthesia with people being operated on, wearing an eye mask and listening to our physics with a headphone. That's
Wow.
how powerful this is. So, in the last several years, we went from a single product, which is called Rescue, which brought you to a healing state. Today, we have 6 products on a single mobile app that manages all 5 categories of your brainwave. You simply select the outcome you want, and you'll see there that all of the products except for sleep require a headphone. Underneath that is a couple gigabytes of mathematics guiding your brain into sleep.
It's crazy. You got to pick that one thing. Try the sleep, see if that works. To me, that was the easiest to try. And then trying that power nap. And it is truly a 20-minute power nap, but you feel like you get 3 hours of sleep. You really, really do. It is magical to me. When you take it from there, if you have somebody that's needing to heal, let's start with that recipe. What do you recommend?
Let's take cancer, let's take Alzheimer's, let's take Parkinson's, let's take dementia, let's take a wound, let's take an injury. In this state, you have a high level of inflammation. In this state, your immune health is compromised. In this state, your stress level and your cortisol is high. So the recipe is really simple. Rescue each day. Now, rescue is our core therapy. Rescue is an immersive experience. You're essentially meditating like a monk without ever having to learn even how to spell meditation. And we're doing this within 5 to 8 minutes. You find a safe, comfortable place, preferably your bed. You put an eye mask on because we're visually stimulated by light. We can't take you to this healing state and have your eyes open. You put a headphone on and you press start on a rescue track. So the first couple minutes we call the departure lounge. We're literally seeking permission from your central nervous system to say, hey, we're going to take you to a safe place and we're going to take you down, we're going to take you up, we're going to take you down, we're going to take you up. We're just showing you that this is safe. And then at minute 5 in power nap or minute 8 in rescue, you go down. And in that state, and only in that state, we're healing. And we're healing on a cellular level. And your mitochondria is restored. Your mitochondria is the energy source of your cells. So to heal, we need to reduce our stress, lower our inflammation, and we need restorative sleep.
I didn't understand how it worked, but I knew that it worked because I did my own experiment without even understanding I was doing an experiment, right? It really is powerful. And that just shows how powerful our brains are. I've never been good at meditating. I mean, I've tried hypnosis and all the things in my mind. I just can never quiet my mind down well enough for it to work, but it works. This works because I'm not thinking of it as meditating, but I am meditating when I do it.
You are meditating. So in 2015, a book was written about this technology. And Michael Gallitzer is a world-renowned doctor. So he wrote a book about NuCalm. Now, it's a fascinating book. You can get it on Amazon. It walks through the invention of this neuroscience technology, but it also talks a lot about the biology of addiction. So it's fascinating, and it's written for all of us to understand. It's not written for medical to medical. And he wrote the book, and I called Tony Robbins, who's a dear friend of mine, and I said, Tony, Michael just wrote a book. I'd like you to write the foreword, which he did. And then I called the Yogananda monk who trained the Beatles on meditation, who'd been using NuCalm. And I said, Brother Craig, I'd like you to write the preface to this book. So we have a book about neuroscience, where a nuclear reactor of energy, Tony Robbins wrote the foreword, and a monk wrote the preface, both using the same technology to derive benefit. So if we can chill out monks, and monks need to chill out, we're onto something here. So you asked me about daily recipes around healing, and we keep this very simple. Find time in your day, 20 or 30 minutes. And if you say you don't have time, then I say reevaluate your life choices.
Right.
If you don't 1/48th of the day, which is 30 minutes, or 1/72nd of the day, which is 20 minutes, to take care of yourself and give your body the opportunity to heal, then look in the mirror and reevaluate what your priorities are, because your to-do list is not more important than your health. The music is beautiful. Now you're listening to deep sleep and you're listening more to environmental pieces. Power nap is instrumental. It takes us 1 year, and the longest track was 26 months to create a single track.
Mm.
26 months. And you'd say, why? Well, what we're delivering to your brain is not music. Music is a distraction, it's a carrier. So, what we can't have happen is us compose music that interferes with the frequency of what we're trying to deliver. So, our production team, we've been working with them for the last 9 years, they're the best of the best. Production engineer, composer, musicians, they get a matrix. It's a mathematical matrix. And at minute one, the pitch might be 164 and the frequency might be 13.2 hertz. They have to make the music with the matrix. Summer Rain is our top track around the world. We average 1.3 to 1.5 million minutes of NuCalm a day around the world. So it tells you, what are people looking for? I have sleep issues. And what's interesting, Shannon, is that we don't really understand sleep. And if we don't understand it, it's hard to figure out how to solve it. The issue with your sleep is your inability to manage your stress. Stress and sleep are incompatible. The reason you're having difficulty falling into sleep or staying asleep is stress. So if we don't manage our stress, we're never going to have good REM and good deep sleep. So that's why the recipe is do rescue during the day or power nap and do deep sleep at night. And if you follow that simple recipe for the rest of your life, you'll be dreaming like you were as a child. You'll be sleeping through the night and you'll be waking up feeling rested, restored. Everything on this earth for a human is stress modulated. The more stressed we are, the more symptoms we have. Well, if you solve the stress piece, life is great. So we recommend to all of our users across the globe, do not use rescue or power nap within 3 hours of your bedtime because you'll feel so good you won't want to go to sleep. So anytime from wake up to within 3 hours of your bedtime, rescue or power nap every day. For you, because you're healing and healing is paramount to anything right now, I would use rescue over power nap and power nap when you just need, hey, I just need 20 minutes. Okay, so I have some hope for you. You ready for some hope?
Yes.
Hope. In 1999, I had 4 discs cut out of my spinal cord. So I grew up as a wrestler and a martial artist, and that whole abuse pattern just compressed and herniated L1 through L5. So I was in a really bad shape. That spinal surgery was pretty barbaric. They put you in a donkey harness face down and they cut your back muscles in half and they take your discs out. So from that point forward, from 1999 until 2009, every quarter, my spine would put me down. I'd have to cancel trips and I just had to lie on ice for like a week and just get the inflammation down. I got introduced to NuCalm October of 2009, began using it on a regular basis, and I have not had a single episode where I've been down for the count. Through all that travel, through other compression of the spine, I don't have a lumbar region. I should never sit again. But because I use rescue every day and it oxygenates my body, the natural healing element, I have no pain. I can do whatever I want. I didn't have that luxury. So that's the hope that I'm going to provide you, because C level pain, T level pain, L level pain, it doesn't matter. Your spinal cord can do a lot of havoc on your mind and your emotion and your spirit and your ability to want to do anything because the pain is so significant. By lying down and doing rescue and allowing your body to heal, that cumulative benefit, your pain's going away.
So I went public, decided to go public with the story, and I've had so many people reach out to me for different things saying, I know exactly what you feel, minus the surgery, or I've had this, or I've had that. And I'm like, you really need to try this NuCalm. And it's so hard for me to explain how it works. It kind of sounds silly when I tell people, right? But it really does work. And now you've given me those answers and I can speak a little more intelligently. I just can't sing the praises enough. If you don't do anything but try the deep sleep, I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to not sleep. I mean, that may be the worst, but try that if you don't try anything else. But if you're struggling with pain, try the rescue. So I hope I can help you spread that word and continue this partnership, because I really believe in what y'all are doing. And I thank you for changing my life. You know, it really has changed my life. So
You're just at the beginning, girl. It's just
I,
starting for you. This is
I,
going to be This is going to be an amazing journey for you. And, you take pain out of the equation, your life is going to be so much better.
Oh man, I tell you, and so many people live in chronic pain every day. I had no idea. And yeah, it's not a fun place to be. I tell you, it's
No,
not.
it's not. Well,
Mm-mm.
welcome to the family and welcome to the Matrix.
Well, thank you, Jim, and we'll sure continue on with more interviews and updates, and I'll keep everybody posted on my journey. Go get the NuCalm app, go to the website, and click. It has all the information and all the things that you could ever want to know on that NuCalm site. You can go to the App Store or the Google Store and download the app and try it free for 7 days. So I encourage you all to give it a try and let us know what you think about it in the comments of this video.